This is Born Strategist. In this video, I'm going to ask as well as answer the following question. Why can't you trade? Now, I'm specifically targeting two games, one of which is Destiny and the other is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Now, the reason why I'm asking this question is because it's a logical assumption that when you have a great deal of weapons, or in Destiny's case, armor as well, then you would kind of wonder why you wouldn't be able to do something as obvious as trading. Now, if you look at it on paper, you'll notice that both Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and Destiny have a great deal of potential to implement a trading system. Especially Destiny, because it seems like it may have been an initial option, but it was a issue for Activision, meaning that, well, we don't want the community to go ahead and start, making money off of our weapons or off of our armor or whatever it is. So we're going to go ahead and prevent you from doing it by eliminating the trading system entirely. That's my stereotypical corporate suit impression. And it kind of pisses me off if that is indeed the case. Don't know if it was, okay? I'm just saying that's a possibility. But let's say, for argument's sake, that it was indeed a reality. It's something that actually happened, okay? Now, if that is the case, why would they do that? Why would they prevent it from happening? Well, the reason for that is rather simple, and it's basically because they can't monetize it. They can't make money off of it. Now, Advanced Warfare, however, decided to go the route that Destiny is yet to go, which is to implement microtransactions, which allow you to purchase supply drops rather than actually earning them in the game. Now, you're obviously going to have people that are in favor of it, other people not so much, and maybe some people like me, they're conflicted, meaning that, yeah, sometimes you just don't have all that time in the world to devote to a game like Call of Duty or Destiny, and as a result, you wouldn't mind having something that would allow you to kind of catch up and keep pace with the younger kids that don't have a lot of responsibilities and have a great deal of time on their hands. On the other side, it seems like it's pay to win, meaning that if I want to get the best gear, I have to pay the most amount of money. Now, I do like the fact that, yeah, you can kind of, keep pace with younger kids that have the opportunity to play way more, but at the same time, you're overcharging your consumers. Now, the reason why I say that is because I say this all the time, which is you are paying as a consumer, you are paying way too much for your games, for your entertainment. Meaning that, well, you're buying games, but you're not getting as much entertainment out of them. Granted, Call of Duty is probably one of those exceptions because a lot of people have a tendency to get it for its multiplayer, which could provide hours of entertainment, which is fine. But there's other games that don't do that, that probably only have like a 5 or 6 hour campaign, and then that's it. It's done. It's over with. And in that case, yeah, you're not getting your money's worth and you're being ripped off. But the one thing that really pisses me off is that Call of Duty, if you include like the season passes and whatnot, or whatever edition that you get, could go from $60 for a standard edition copy, probably up to 130, 35, whatever the hell it is now, which is ridiculous considering that they come out every single year. And as of right now, that is roughly 1/3 of the price of an Xbox One. That is ridiculous. The fact that you are paying 1/3 of the price for an Xbox One to get one of those goddamn games. And what they do on top of all of that, content, in some cases, is being intentionally withheld from the final product at the time of release. And that pisses me off. Granted, look, some things may not necessarily be ready, like map packs or whatever it is, but let's face it, there are some things that are being withheld and going to be sold later on down the line, not because they could include it in the game and not because they ran out of time and they need to work on it after the game's initial release, but because they want to make as much money off of it as possible. Now, the thing is that when you look at games like Evolve, Evolve had a bunch of DLC. Now, I've heard, different people's perspective on it, one of which is Total Biscuit. Now, Total Biscuit had basically said, well, he understands how, the development works in games now more so than he did probably a couple years ago. And he had said that, Well, the development team doesn't necessarily have a large amount of time to work on these particular things, so when the game releases, they have the opportunity to finish them and get them out. Now, if that is the case, I can understand why they would want to charge you for it, especially if it's a reasonable price. But at the same time, I'm going, well, when you look at Evolve, there's not very many unlockables in there. Especially when it comes to, your appearance. Like, people like to customize their characters nowadays. It's one of the main reasons as to why Call of Duty is so popular. It's one of the main reasons why Destiny's popular, because you have the ability to customize your crap. But in the end, the decision really just comes down to the development team. And they make the decision as to what gets withheld and what is placed in the disc or in the digital download at the time of release. Now, I don't necessarily agree with, Evolve's business practices, but at the same time, it's understandable because if you're not making a great deal of money, then you want to make some return on your investment so that you can actually make more of these games for people that actually do enjoy them. But the reason why I bring this up is because a lot of game corporations now, a lot of game studios that make these games are not making as much money as a lot of people think. There's a lot of time, effort, and energy, especially money, that's being put into these projects. And since they are so ambitious and since they are so big, they are extremely expensive. Now, don't get me wrong, these game corporations, like Activision or EA and, their studios are obviously, bringing in the cash. But you gotta understand that they always want to make a certain amount and they will not be satisfied until they get to that amount or beyond. And as a result, they'll go ahead and do these microtransactions to avoid giving you a trading system. And that's what this is all about. Why can't you trade? You can't trade simply because those developers, those publishers aren't making money off of your trades. And that's the problem with this industry. It's all about statistics, it's all about numbers. You yourself, as a consumer, is viewed upon as a statistic. They don't care about you, your personalities, or what you like. It's really all about the money. Okay? They're running a business, and in order for the business to remain profitable, they need to go ahead and look at the numbers, look at the statistics to determine how much money they could potentially make. Now, I don't necessarily agree with all their business practices. I think it's good to know what your demographic, is looking for and what type of games they like, but at the same time, we're in an era of conformity. Everyone wants to do the exact same thing because they think that it'll equal the exact same results. I mean, granted, in most cases, it probably will. Action-oriented games are always going to be the most popular and always make the most amount of money. For the most part, you never know when a mobile game, a cheap like little mobile game like Flappy Bird or Candy Crush will go ahead and manage to knock them off the fucking board or something like that because they too can make a great deal of money just off of, mobile devices. But in the end, it doesn't prove to be profitable for the developers, for the publishers, and for that very reason is why you don't have a trading system. With that said, what's your thoughts? What's your opinions? Do you think that the gaming corporations are intentionally withholding content just to charge you for it? Or do you believe that the trading system was just too difficult and they just didn't want to put forth the time, effort, and energy into developing it? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, thanks for watching. And for more objective reviews, strategy guides, commentaries, and more, stay tuned to this channel.